Today on the channel, we take a look at the San Diego Comic-Con 2022 NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles exclusive, The Premonition of Premutation.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NECA cartoon unboxing and review. And today we've got the San Diego Comic-Con 2022 exclusive, the Premonition of Premutation box set. And of course, we've seen box sets like this in the past from the Turtles cartoon NECA line, of course, over the years, and as San Diego Comic-Con exclusives as well. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Now, I did pre-order this, of course, online for San Diego Comic-Con. They had these up on the NECA website for a little bit. They did ship out just recently. Some people, I think, got them if you were in attendance at San Diego Comic-Con, so that's always fun as well. And I gotta believe maybe these will hit Target in the future. I don't know, though. The old other box sets struggled a little bit at retail, as we still even see some of those, the Catwoman box set out there at some Target stores, if you can believe that, over a year later. So I don't know how many of these will go out there. It is a bit of a deep cut. This is a perfect San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, as this is some familiar personalities before they were mutated, as you guys can imagine, hence the name of the pack here. So without further ado, let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Big box, of course, like we're used to. Nice colors to it. Just a beautiful packaging here. Of course, you got Master Splinter before the change, Baxter Stockman, and then Bebop and Rocksteady. Very cool looking set here from the artwork. The familiar Turtles logo right up top there. On the top, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Krang go home, it says. And they've got a little poster on the side. I don't know. There's always Easter eggs on these things, and I'm terrible at these Easter eggs. Who is this guy? I cannot for the life of me remember who that is, but of course, it's got to be an Easter egg to the future right there. Wasn't he like a computer? Yeah, obviously a computer guy, but I forget. I can't even remember. It's been so long. But there you got that on that side. And then the back, some action figure glamour shots, no blurbs, anything like that going on in the old Premonition of Premutation. And then, of course, very cool window box. Flap pops right out there. Get a nice little kind of, I don't know, computer lab flooring, I guess you would call that. And then, of course, we got the main characters right there in the package looking really good. Quite the Murderers Row lineup, if I do say so myself. Right there, and you got Nickelodeon all over the box, as you can imagine as well. So now, there's a ton of accessories, a ton in this pack, so I'm going to take it offline, get it all out, and we'll be back talking all things San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Premonition of Premutation. Alright, we got everybody out of the twist ties, out of the packs, and it took forever, as you can imagine. But I thought I would show the background here, of course. You can see inside, it's a little computer lab action. You got Krang with a mustache over there. Once again, I don't remember this at all. You got that spider-type creature, some things in kind of the holding cells back there. I think there's a lot of Easter eggs that'd be better for somebody that's a little smarter with their turtle memory than I am right now. But there's some Easter eggs to come, I have a feeling, in this pack. So maybe some of you guys do know, and you can shout it out in the comments down below. So further ado, let's get down to it. How about we look at the accessories of the hands? I left those guys in the plastic still, but we've seen a lot of these box sets from the Turtles line. We get hands like this, which is pretty nice. You get, of course, Baxter, you get Splinter, and then Bebop Rocksteady in here as well. So you get all their hands. They all seem to come with fisted hands. They all come out of the pack ready to throw down at a moment's notice, but then you get, of course, gripping hands, splayed out hands, different kinds of gripping hands, and so forth here. So I wanted to shout out all those hands there. Choose your own hand adventure, as we always say here on the channel. Now let's get down to it. Let's start going through them. And let's go to Hamato Yoshi first. How about Splinter, the leader of the Turtles, really in a lot of ways. Obviously training the Turtles, things like that. We talked about his extra hands he does have. His only accessory that I see here is, of course, his stick here. So his bow staff, whatever you want to call it. Very Donatello-esque, of course. Looks very wooden-like. It's got sculpt to it. It's just not plain piece of plastic. It looks like a wooden stick, and very humble weapon, I guess we'd say, is a weapon like this. But then you get down to old Hamato Yoshi here. Of course, definitely looks like Splinter before he became a rat. It's hard times out there for a rat, I've always been told. Always been told by my rat friends. But Hamato Yoshi looking like a young George Takei from Star Trek and many other things, a million other things. He probably even did voiceover for one of the Turtle shows, I think, at one time. But he looks a lot like him, of course. You like that black with little gray animated cells in the hair, showing him that he's not just a young, spry Hamato Yoshi. He's an older version here. You do got an overlay, not removable, but you do have an overlay chest piece for his vest. Of course, the arms, making his nice little robe going on. Little yellow designs there. He's got his beautiful pajama pants. He's always comfortable. Imagine he's like silk on him. He's like a young Hugh Hefner, I think. He's got his smoking jacket on. He's got his parachute pants like a young MC Hammer. He's ready to go. He's ready to take on the world. Of course, he's very proud of his black belt, so he's going to wear his black belt. That makes sense too. Two-fisted hands, as we talked about, ready to throw down at a moment's notice. Yeah, there it is. And then, of course, he does have bare feet. No sandals, anything like that. Just straight up bare feet on him. All the way down there. Articulation-wise, of course, you get the legs, or the feet, I should say, back and forth, side to side. One thing I hate about these is I'm always scared I'm going to break something. That last Neutrino set, we had one that had kind of wonky knee, I guess we'd say. I always scared I'm going to break something, and I shouldn't, because these have been in the house for a long time. They're in the elements. They're okay. They're not in the cold or extreme heat or anything like that, so I should be okay. But then the paint chipping that comes along. A lot of times paint does chip off when you start moving these guys' joints around. But you do got that. So you do get the ankles back and forth. You do get double jointed knees, very tight, not a ton of movement there. You do get a good waist on him. You do get a little splits action, of course, right there. And then you get the arms that move around, back and forth, side to side. Single jointed elbows, wrists, of course, move side to side. Hands are removable, and I can see some of that flaking already going on. And then you get the head side to side, of course. Does he fit on a ringside collectible stand? Let's check that one out. Will he fit? Oh, he fits. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. Make sure you get the WWE ringside stands if you're going to get them. That's those right there. And, of course, got to have the old school Splinter to go right side by side. Oh, knocked him over. It's tough, though. I guess when you turn into a rat, you shrink. So that's unfortunate. Nobody ever likes to lose height, and that's what happened to Hamato Yoshi when he got changed over. But you can kind of see the differences between these two for sure. But very, very cool. Not sure where I'm going to display him. You almost need like a flashback shelf or something like that to put him on. But I'll figure something out in my turtle display for sure. So there it is. A little Splinter Hamato Yoshi. Now let's turn our attention over to Baxter Stockman. Now he's got a lot more accessories than Hamato Yoshi had for sure. And we do get a Mouser. Now, we did get those Mouser packs fairly recently, so now we get another Mouser to add to the collection. It's not a damaged one, anything like that. No mouth movement on this one, just the leg movement. So it's a little bit by the paint by the numbers Mouser, but it does work good. It is a great accessory. We'll always take more Mousers or Roadkill, easy for me to say, Roadkill Rodneys in our collection. But we do get a Mouser with him. We do get a little net action to catch that pesky fly, and we all know what happened to Baxter Stockman. But we do have that. It's a nice pinkish, kind of very Easter color here. And then you got the net on the end, so you can relive those scenes if you want to. And we get a couple of crazy weapons and gadgets like any crazy scientist would have. We get one right here. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. Always scared on these because they got a lot of cool detail to them, but boy, this stuff is very easily broken, easily chipped off, so you always got to be careful with some of these crazier, wackier accessories for sure. So there's those. And then we get the Ninja Turtles. We get the Turtles before the mutation in a fishbowl, kind of like a goldfish jar here. So that is a nice little touch. So we do get that. You do get 4 separate Turtles that can be removed. Put them in there so you don't lose them, because those would be very easily lost, as you can imagine. And then we get a little salt and pepper shaker, or Parmesan, my favorite. That's what it looks like, but it's the Turtles mutated. So it is the Turtles mutated, but shrunken down, I guess we'd say, in a jar. But you get all 4 turtles inside there, and you can pull them out if you are so inclined. They will pop out of there, but they're all kind of stuck together. No posability or anything with those, but we do get the 4 turtles. Now we get down to old Baxter Stockman. Always need a wacky scientist, and that's what he was here, of course, working with Shredder back in the day, and then, of course, transforming into what he became, a take on the Fly. I think it's pretty much an homage to the Fly, you would say. But Baxter looks good. I always wonder, too, how would a pack like this, how is it going to sell at retail? These are a little deeper cuts, as I think the alt versions of every single character here is going to be a lot more popular on the store shelves than these guys will be. But I love that NECA takes the attention to the collectors, gives us deep cuts like this in a box set, because I don't know, you put Hamato Yoshi and Baxter together in a 2-pack, you'd sell a few, but boy, you think the frogs are bad, I'd have to think this would be next level peg warming. But this box set is a way to get them out to market. And I think if this box set, like I said, does go to market, I think it'll be pretty limited quantities, I'd have to think. But Baxter Stockman, very similar to Hamato Yoshi. You get the arms that go around. You do get kind of some crazy long arms. His arms are a little longer. They just feel a little bit longer, but it's because of that double jointed. He's got like forearm joint and an elbow joint on him. Head, of course, moves side to side. Waist moves side to side. He's got that big animated lab coat going on with the cell shading, the blue and the white. Nice yellow bow tie. Very, very sharp, of course. Double jointed knees and then ankles back and forth, up and down. So not a ton to him, but there doesn't need to be a ton to him. He is what he is. He's a scientist. Of course, he does get transformed. We will put him on a ringside stand just to see if he fits. Got to do the test as always. Use discount code Kyle, save 10%. He does not fit. He seems to be a little shallow in the peg department. Yeah, he is. He is not going to fit. So he should have no problem standing on his own, I don't think. Well, I take that back. We might have some issues standing him. He might be a leaner. He might be a leaner for everybody. We'll see what happens. Can I get him? There we go. He does stand. And, of course, we do got the mutated version here. Obviously, like I said, the much more popular version would be the mutated version. But really cool to see the before and after of what happens when you get into that pesky mutation. But it looks really good here, I think. I think it does look good. And I love a deep cut. And this is good for different shelves and things like that. So we got Baxter, both versions. Now we turn our attention to the ones I was most excited for. Of course, Bebop, Rocksteady before they're mutated. And I don't know about you guys, whenever I see them pre-mutated, it just always looks so strange to me because they look like the character, but don't look like the character. It's always just kind of a mind trip a little bit, I've always felt. But really cool. Of course, we know in the loot crate, there's supposed to be, what, Scrag? Isn't that his name? We're supposed to get him, another member of their team. Well, are we ever going to get that loot crate? We got one kind of thrown to us, and then it's been silence again. So will we get it? Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's funny that Scrag was announced, sold, pre-ordered, all that kind of stuff should have been shipped to us before these were ever even announced. So isn't that crazy? Like over a year later, we get new figures that we didn't even know were going to be in existence. And it's shipped to us already. So very crazy there. But let's look at the accessories. These guys, I do assume, share their accessories. Of course, they do got a boombox, a staple of the 80s, of course. Probably busting out all kinds of heavy metal, I'm guessing. I think they were big Exodus fans, if I'm not mistaken. But cool, I think we have seen this one time before. I try to remember when. I cannot for the life of me, but I feel like we got a boombox in the past. But we do get another one here. Uh-oh, we lost Baxter. He fell off. He took a dive. He's okay, though. He's all right. We'll just put him down just in case. Dangerous time at the table. You gotta always be careful. You gotta always be careful, mindful of what you're doing. But we got a boombox. And then we get two paint spray cans. Of course, 80s punks. They look like they're straight out of the Warriors. Or which Death Wish movie was it? It was like Death Wish 3, maybe? Was it Death Wish 3? Maybe even 4, where he's like taking it to the streets, fighting guys. He's got a big rocket launcher. It's absolutely crazy. Of course, those hoodlums, they always have paint canisters much like this, and very cool spray paint. And I talk a lot about accessories. You can use these with different toys, different lines, things like that. That's the beauty of some of these accessories and some of these NECA sets. You can really cross them over into other stuff. Hey, you can put them with, what is it, the Maximum Male Models on SmackDown. They're spray painting the Street Profits bus. You could use that right there if you wanted to, if you're so inclined. Of course, you get some typical street weapons because, you know, when you're fighting on the streets, you're not usually, most of the time, using weapons and stuff. Back in the day. But you get a crowbar, a classic street weapon, of course. A crowbar there. A baseball bat, another classic weapon. I remember when I was in 8th grade, and there used to be fights after school every day. And I partook from time to time, of course. I loved a good fight. I loved a good scrap. But one time I saw a guy getting worked over with a baseball bat. When you see a guy get swung and hit in the head and the face multiple times with a baseball bat, man, that's a bad day at the office. You don't want to be on the other end of that. And some crazy stuff back in the old playground. The old playground wasn't just about toys and talking wrestling and talking about Warrior and Hogan, who was going to win. Oh no, there was some scuffs going on the playground. And yeah, I saw a guy take a baseball bat to the face a few times. It was a rough night at the office for him, like I said. Then you get another, it almost looks like a baseball bat, but I guess it almost looks like just kind of a broken wood stick. You got the animated cell shading going on in there as well. So very interesting, but a very primitive, but a very street weapon for the time, of course. We talked about the crowbar, and then you get a chain. So we just get a little chain. Interesting, but you guys know we've always seen it. We see it in the movies in the 80s. We remember it. Guys swinging the chains. Oh, they're going to come get you. Like the movie The Warriors. If you've never seen The Warriors, man, check that movie out. That's a great one. But very interesting accessories for old Bebop and Rocksteady. Now let's break them down. And let's look at old Bebop first. Bebop looking good, looking like a punk rocker, looking like some guy that just walked out of CBGB's back in the day. He's ready to go. He's got his arm bracelets, forearm guards, metal spiked like a young Rob Halford. He's got 2 fists to throw down. Got a beautiful purple mohawk, man, what more could you want? And then the iconic glasses. Those are the Bebop glasses, if you ask me. We know about those all day long. I wish he had some denim and leather going on like a young Saxon, but we can't get everything we want, as we know. But he does have a red vest with a big old backing here. I don't even know what you call that. I guess collar, a huge collar on him. Got zippers, nice detail on the belt. Of course, much smaller than what he becomes when he turns into Bebop. He does got his combat boots on. He's ready to go. He's ready to jump in the pit and take some people out if he has to. Not bad. And of course, the articulation on all these guys is the same. It's the same articulation. But of course, we got Bebop right here. One of the all-time best turtle figures from this line, of course. So you can see when he gets mutated, man, look what he turns into. But man, it is cool to have both versions of these. I'm going to have them on different displays like a lot of these guys. I'm thinking of my street scene diorama from NECA. I'll have these guys kind of off in the corner, like in an alley. Oh, street toughs in the alley. Got to watch out for them. Bebop Rocksteady look really cool, and Bebop a favorite of mine. I don't know. I think I prefer Bebop to Rocksteady. I think I'm gonna claim that here on video. But we got that there. So there's old Bebop looking pretty good, looking pretty solid, I would say. All right, now we get down to Rocksteady. And the weird thing about Rocksteady is how small he is. A lot like Burn, of course, from last year's Newsroom set. Very similar, a little bit of sharing, I think, a little bit at least of size. But just definitely a mad, angry head on him. You got that blonde hair. You got the shirt that matches his hair, of course. The brown belt. Got the big brown vest. He almost looks like he could be a Dreadnought in G.I. Joe, or he looks like a big game hunter or something like that you'd see out in Africa. Is what he reminds me with the camouflage and the browns and the yellows going there. But just definitely interesting where just the size difference on these guys. But I guess that makes sense. You get mutated, you get so much bigger, where he's just kind of short and dumpy in this look, and then he gets to be a big old meaty rhino. So it's just, I don't know, crazy how that works out, I guess. I don't know. What am I saying? What am I saying at this point? But there he is with his different version here when he turns into good old Rocksteady. Rocksteady does not stay the best. You can get him, but he doesn't stand the best. But quite the difference between these two. I think we'd all agree on that. But an interesting pack, all in. I'm here for it, of course. I love this line. It is a fun line to collect. Yes, there's some turtle anxiety. You can pick up a t-shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees, as you guys know. But it is fun to just relive this, and it makes me want to go back. I've been threatening it for the last couple of years. I need to go back and watch every episode of the cartoon series. It's been far too long since I've watched them, especially some of these deep cuts I could get back into my brain because they've obviously flown out over the years. But we'll see. I'll get there. There's all nothing but time, right? Yeah, sure. Something like that. But a very, very good set, a deep cut set, a set that's not for everybody, and that's what's always perfect for San Diego Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con exclusives you don't want to have for everybody. They got to be more niche items because they are more limited. And if you have something like an original Bebop Rocksteady as an exclusive, man, that's a bad day at the office because you're going to turn off a lot of fans. But a set like this definitely works as an exclusive. I'm anxious to see what next year brings. What do they give us as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive next year? I guess we'll just have to hang out and find out and wait. And the waiting is the hardest part, as young Tom Petty once said. So there it is. Bebop, Rocksteady, Hamato Yoshi, and of course, Baxter Stockman. Your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this pack. You playing the long game? You picking it up? Easy pass? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. As you guys know, we got videos every single day. Follow along on social media. SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. ProWrestlingTees.com. Pick up your Turtle Anxiety t-shirt. Support the channel. There you go. And you can also support the channel on Patreon with early access to videos, bonus content, exclusive content, monthly giveaways, a whole lot going on over there at the Patreon. So check that out. And best of all, like I always say, you do support the channel. So for the San Diego Comic-Con 2022 Ninja Turtle exclusive set, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.